Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to speak on item 7-15, if that is appropriate at this time.
The Senator may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. The other day, we debated this bill and the item that's listed as 7-22, both divestment bills directing Maine PERS to act in a certain way with respect to certain investments held there. I believe that some of the debate that was offered frankly stretched the truth a bit. And so I wanted to speak on this again. I've heard, like many of you, from a large number of constituents and stakeholders who've been led to believe that these bills actually do something that they don't do. The titles of these bills are simply false. I sympathize with the goals of these bills, but I think it's very unfortunate that we would pass the political responsibility for dealing with the veracity of these measures onto the Maine PERS board and simply walk away from our responsibilities to enact faithful, honest legislation. I took the time yesterday to correspond with the executive director of Maine PERS, Sandy Matheson, who has served faithfully in that office for many years. In my private sector work, I've had a chance to work with Sandy in my work in corporate governance and social responsibility. I actually volunteered my time when I was not a senator to help set up the ESG task force, which has brought together a lot of the information that Maine PERS is now using to invigorate its social responsibility program there. And they're doing great work, and they're very well intentioned. Sandy is going to be retiring soon, and I just want to take this opportunity in passing to say thank you, Sandy, for your service, and thank you for doing such great work, always faithful to the public purpose for the people of Maine. But I asked her 3 questions in writing, and she gave me 3 answers. And I want it to be abundantly clear to those of us in the Senate what we are actually voting for and what we're not voting for, so that we take the responsibility for the lack of honesty embedded in these 2 bills. The first question I asked is, what is the assessment of Maine PERS on the statutory authority that LDs 99 and 319 will assert with respect to Article 9, Section 18 of the Maine Constitution, which I quoted yesterday?
Senator Bennett?
Yes.
Would you address your comments to the chair and try not to impugn anyone's integrity on what was actually in a bill or not?
Mr. President, I will do that. I've always tried to be faithful for that, and I am just simply recognizing the title of the bill, and I'll present information that the title of the bill does not do what is promised.
Just for the record, when you bring up someone lying, that certainly seems to impugn the character of someone in the chamber.
I apologize to anybody that may have taken it that way. That was not my intent. I am talking about the bill, not the motivations or intention of any member of the chamber.
Senator may proceed.
Thank you. I asked again the question, what is the assessment of Maine PERS of the statutory authority that LDs 99 and 319 will assert with respect to Article 9, Section 18 of the Maine Constitution? Can the legislature assert investment mandates on Maine PERS? Her answer, and I quote, "The legislature cannot assert investment mandates on Maine PERS under the Constitution. That is why LD 99 and 319 include fiduciary exceptions." Second question, do LDs 99 and 319, if enacted in their current form as engrossed, require Maine PERS to divest of any assets? The answer, under the Maine Constitution, she writes, Maine PERS cannot be required to divest. Maine PERS may divest when it is in the best financial interests of its members. Final question. I said, if not, to the previous question, what are the prospects for divestment of assets relating to fossil fuels and for-profit prisons under the exercise of the fiduciary duties of Maine PERS as they currently exist? The answer, wholesale divestment will not occur because the Constitution requires acting in the best financial interests of members. Divesting categorically, such as contained in LDs 99 and 319, that is, fossil fuels or prisons, does not allow for financial analysis. She continues, what many people do not appreciate is that most Maine PERS investments that have a fossil fuel component are primarily composed of non-fossil fuel investments. Divesting, therefore, would create a situation where Maine PERS would be selling unrelated profitable investment components, including renewable energy, at a loss. This would not make sense and would not be consistent with fiduciary duty, nor would it meet the spirit of LD 99. Our investments in private prisons, she continues, fall far below de minimis at less than $250,000 or 0.00014 of our $17.7 billion portfolio. This bill represents a sadly political response to a need being expressed by stakeholders that says that legislators can pass a bill which says Maine PERS shall divest while also trying to have it both ways and saying that subject to their fiduciary duties. We, of course, have in our power to pass any statute we want. We can say that this bill is a divestment bill, but it is not a divestment bill. And I want to alleviate the burden on the board of directors of Maine PERS to have to answer the question from stakeholders about why they did not divest when they were told to. Thank you, Mr. President.